Well, here we are. Both the Euros and the Copa America have concluded, and I do have some thoughts. We obviously did see things that we were expecting. We did see pleasant and unpleasant surprises as well. And just for the record, I live in Europe. I'm from Hungary. And therefore, I didn't really watch any of the Copa America games except for the final. I stayed up very late for that. So I am going to talk about the Euros more because I saw almost every single game in the Euros and only one in the Copa America. So let's talk about the winners first. So with the Copa America, Argentina won again. Last time they won in 2020 or 2021, I guess. And this is Messi's second Copa America. He just keeps adding these trophies to the collection. If anyone is still doubting his GOAT status, I don't know what the hell you're smoking. I do want some though. I'm not saying he performed incredibly at this tournament because from what I've seen, it was not like exceptional, but he did score a goal, and also I saw his performance in the final and he really gave it his all, and it was really heartbreaking to see him cry, dude. That was an unreal experience because he doesn't really cry that often, and this was not like happy tears like during the game when he had to be subbed off due to an injury. Those were not happy tears. Those were really disappointed and sad tears, obviously knowing that it's probably like one of his last tournaments ever. Di Maria, it was his last match as well. They're really close friends. So yeah, that was kind of heartbreaking, but they did win, so that was cool. And I think they deserved it overall. I mean, Colombia didn't really put up a performance that was worthy of winning, in my opinion. About the other teams in the Copa America, I can't say too much because, again, I didn't really watch the tournament. I know that Brazil underperformed. They got knocked out by Uruguay, who are a really good team, by the way. I would have loved to see Uruguay in the final, but they did not make it. And we did see some surprises like Canada. Canada went really far, but they didn't even get third place because I know that Uruguay did get the third place. So congratulations to Canada as well. I guess this is something I don't think a lot of people expected, so congratulations Canada and all the other teams as well. And then the Euro winner, Spain, and I cannot express how happy I am actually. If you saw my prediction video, I predicted England to win the entire thing before the tournament even started, but when it started, this opinion or this view of mine completely changed because I saw the way England played and I was like, dude, what the hell? How are they going to win this tournament playing like this? And what's even more surprising is that they did still make it to the final nonetheless, England, and they almost won. It was not an easy game for Spain per se, but I'm so happy that football won that night. That was over a week ago now, but overall, the Spanish team did win every single game in this tournament. That's really important to mention, and they didn't have a single penalty shootout either, and only one extra time match. All the other games they won fair and square in the regular 90 minutes, which is really impressive. I did say in my prediction video as well that I thought this was a really exciting Spanish team, and I did want them to perform really good, but they exceeded my expectations by a lot. I mean, before the tournament, I was like, dude, Lamine Yamal is a really interesting player. I really would like to see how he's gonna play. And dude, he was insanely good. I was expecting him to be good, but not this good. Like, he turned 17 a day before the final, and then he won the final as well. And a couple of days before he turned 17, he actually scored an insanely huge goal against France in the semifinals. But yeah, Spain 100% deserved. I'm so happy for them. England, however, I do feel sorry for England. I mean, the amount of trolling that's happening or has been happening for the couple of days is insane. Like, it's just absolutely beyond comprehension. The Kane curse continues. Like, it's unbreakable, it seems like. And I'm also really sad that players like Cole Palmer didn't really get the amount of playing time that I would have given them if I were in the Southgate's position. And what adds to it is that he did play really well. He was subbed in the final. He scored a goal. He was really solid there, but unfortunately for him, the rest of the team just didn't perform as well as they should have. We can talk about Kane. He just didn't really do anything for the entire tournament and still managed to score 3 goals somehow. Bellingham, I know that he might have not been fully healthy, and the same applies for Kane, by the way, as well, but like, I know that it's like your duty and you feel so determined, but like, if you're not healthy, then don't play. Like, and I do understand what it's like. Obviously, I've never played in the Euros, but I understand what the feelings could be, and yeah, it's just kind of an interesting story. Now let's talk about some other teams in the Euros. So First of all, I just want to talk a little bit about Hungary. This is my country. I don't think a lot of people care about this, so I'm just going to keep it quick. I had really high hopes, and I even made a video about, you know, hyping up the Hungarian viewers, or just like talking about how this squad and this team is exciting, and we were not exciting. As a matter of fact, the way we performed was just not good enough. Although we did lose 3-1 to Switzerland, and they did go on to beat even Italy in the quarterfinals. No, not in the quarterfinals, in the round of 16. So I'm guessing that's like not embarrassing that we lost to Switzerland, because like it turns out they were really good. In the same group we had Germany, and they looked very strong right off the bat, and then they did have some lower points, like against Switzerland they barely got a draw. Against Denmark they kind of struggled. That was a really tough game for them as well. And then they lost to Spain. Now we can talk about the controversial moments with the handball, and this is by no means because I'm biased or anything like that. I was rooting for Spain, I'm gonna tell you that, but I think that I'm mature enough to be able to form an opinion that's completely unbiased. And I've seen a lot of articles and just people talk about how that's not handball due to multiple reasons actually. But it actually, a situation that was very similar to this Kukureya handball was shown to all the referees that were going to participate in this Euros right before the tournament started, so that, you know, they know that if something like this happens, that is not a penalty in fact. And that's exactly what happened. The referee was really confident in his decision, and you know, the VAR looked at it and everything, and it was like, that's not handball. In my opinion, the reason why I wouldn't have given a penalty for that was simply because that was a really hard shot, and Kukureya had no idea that the shot was coming. He wasn't trying to block it at all, he just got hit. And if you watch some replays, you can see that his hand was not moving towards the ball, but like to the opposite direction, and it still hit him because it was just hit so hard by Musiala. So I think it was not a penalty for that reason merely. Other big teams, okay? France. They did make it to the semifinals, I'll give them that, but did they play good? No, not at all, dude. I know that Mbappe had this injury, and he was certainly not bad, but overall, their performances were just not convincing. Few players always stood out, but overall, the team performances were just not good enough in my opinion. And this is why Spain beat them, because Spain's team performances were excellent. We can talk about the Netherlands as well. I thought they were pretty good in the group stages and at the beginning of the knockout stages as well. And then they played England. I unfortunately couldn't watch that game. I was rooting for England, by the way, and I was really happy that they won, but you know, the Netherlands did put up a fight, and England again won the game in the very last minute. And then other bigger teams, Portugal. We can talk about Ronaldo. I don't really want to, okay? I've always been a Messi guy, just stating that for the record. But I don't have a single problem with Ronaldo. I would never talk shit about him because that's just childish and pointless, and like I don't understand the purpose of it. And I'm not going to say that he held this team back, or the reason why they got knocked out was because he was there, or like, you know, he only had negative effects on the team. I don't think that's true. But he's definitely not the player he was, like, you know, 5 years ago or something. His play style changed a lot as well, and I don't think it really matched what this Portugal team were going for. Turkey made it really far, which was really interesting, because I think in my prediction video I put them last in their group or something like that. Like, I think I literally put them in a place where they didn't continue to the knockout stages, and I was really wrong. They beat Austria in the round of 16, which was really interesting, and then lost to the Netherlands. Did put up a fight, did play pretty good. Honestly, this Turkey team was a likable team. I think, you know, one of the youngest teams actually in the entire tournament, so they're really interesting. And speaking of Austria, they surprised me as well. Especially when they beat the Netherlands. That was a really nice game. And let's not forget about Georgia either, because they made it through the group stages in their very first Euros ever, beating Portugal as well. Now obviously that was like the B team for the Portuguese team, and they didn't really want to win, and etc. But you know, Georgia, impressive, really impressive for what they represent as footballing nations, which is pretty much equal to 0. And I'm saying this with all due respect, I'm just stating the factual things. This definitely increased their status, or their presence, I guess, as a footballing nation. And then we have Italy, for example. I have no idea what the hell happened to Italy. Obviously, their squad is not the same as it was, you know, 3 years ago, I guess. But still, I expected a lot more from them. I did expect them to beat Switzerland at all, but it turns out Switzerland was just better. They also almost beat England. They were really good against England as well. So Switzerland was also a surprise for me. I did not expect them to be that good, but they were. And the rest of the teams I don't really want to talk about. Some of them made it through the group stages, some of them didn't. Oh, maybe Belgium as well. I guess I could talk about. Obviously, the golden generation is done for them. Like, the only players remaining are Lukaku and De Bruyne. Neither of them were in their best forms of their lives, and I think that's an understatement as well. Poor Lukaku scored like 3 goals. All 3 were taken from him. That's kind of like, no, you can't help but feel sorry for the guy, because, like, you know, when you look at those replays from the VAR, you can't believe how those goals were like ruled out because it was offside by like this much, and it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, I think I talked about all the teams. We can just talk about the experience a little bit. I think that the stadiums were mostly really good. I do remember one game that was like cut in half because of the weather, because there was like a huge thunderstorm. I think it was Denmark and Germany. That was interesting. Stadiums were pretty good except for this one stadium, and I don't remember which one it was, but like the grass was really bad. But overall, the entire thing with the vibe and, you know, the outcome and all the games and, you know, the atmosphere, I think was really good. This was a proper Euros tournament. I'm not disappointed with it. I know a lot of people are. Listen, bro, it might not be as good as, like, you know, the 2012 Euros or something like that, but like you can't do anything about that. Copa America, again, I didn't really watch any of the games. I do know that the Argentina against Colombia final that I did actually watch. I was gonna stay up. I think it was actually gonna start at 3 a.m. and it started at like 4:45 or something like that. It was crazy. Delayed because of fans causing a lot of chaos and wreaking havoc around the stadium, and that was a really big issue. And I saw a lot of people complaining about CONMEBOL, who are the, you know what CONMEBOL is. So yeah, I can't say too much about that, but I'm really happy that Messi won another trophy. It just always makes me incredibly happy. So yeah, I think this has been Summer 2024 football. We were excited for both these tournaments, and I don't think any of them like really disappointed. I'm just really happy that I could watch the Euros. Obviously, I couldn't really watch the Copa America, but I am grateful. But I also want to know what you guys think about both the tournaments, the winners, how certain teams performed, maybe certain players that stood out a lot to you. Well, I can talk about that a little bit, but most of them are going to be Spanish players because Lamine Yamal, Olmo, and especially Nico Williams played so freaking well. It was unbelievable. Really like a treat to watch, literally. I really want Nico Williams to come to Barca, but I don't think he will. There were other standout players, like one player from like each team. I think I definitely enjoyed watching Musiala play. He was really good. Cole Palmer was really good. The amount of time that he had, I think he used relatively well. Mbappe, the class player that he is, I think, you know, a large percentage of what he is capable of, he actually provided in this tournament, but like, you know, he didn't really have an end product with it, if that makes sense. Arda Güler, he's young, he scored a banger against Georgia, so that was a really interesting moment as well. That's about it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, let me know by pressing the like button and also subscribing to my channel. I am going to see you in the next video, which is going to be very soon, I promise. And damn, and bye.